Hey people, hope you guys doing great. In today's video we will see, what if Naruto was the prodigious son and got harem, part 1. Huge shout out to Unholytsunami for this story. If you end up liking this video please consider subscribe, and like the video, so let's start the story. Young master, it is time to go. High above in the trees Naruto heard this and awoke from his nap. This boy appeared 16 years old with spiky blonde hair and azure blue eyes which had an uninterested and bored look inside of them. He had an athletic build with lean muscles. He was wearing a cerulean blue shirt and blue pants with white stripes going down each leg. He also wore a jade green necklace in the shape of a teardrop around his neck. Naruto stretched on his makeshift bed and yawned. Sebastian, how much will it cost to make you forget I was here? There is no amount of money you can give me that would protect me from your father's wrath if I let you miss your appointment. The security guard / butler / assistant of Sito Kaiba replied dryly. He turned to Naruto. Now you can agree to come with me to the Colosseum, or we can shoot you full of sedatives and drop you off. The choice is yours, young master. Naruto thought for a moment. Sedatives. This way I get a nap out of the situation. No sooner did he finish that sentence did he feel 3 pricks in his back. He smiled sleepily. Morphus, take me away. 7 seconds later the blonde was dead to the world. 3 more seconds and his body was reunited with the hard ground. Sebastian walked over to the body and quickly checked to make sure he was still alive. That was a pretty tall tree after all. Once he saw the rising and fall of his chest, the security guard brought his hand up to his earpiece. Target secure, Mr. Kaiba. Now bringing him to the designated area. A voice crackled to life on the earpiece. Good job. Does he have his dex on him? Sebastian quickly frisked the boy until he found what he was looking for. 2 small rectangular cases, both locked with the most advanced security system created by Kaiba Corp. Sebastian held back a sweat drop. How paranoid is this kid? He then grunted out. He has his dex, Mr. Kaiba. A laugh was heard coming from the earpiece. Perfect. Take him to the Colosseum and give him to the professor over obelisk blue. Sebastian stood up and asked. What does the professor look like? Trust me, you can't miss him, her, whatever it is. One more thing, Mr. Kaiba. Sebastian knew his employer had short patience, so he had to hurry up. With the young master incapacitated, how is he supposed to duel in order to determine which dorm he belongs in? He heard a scoff over the earpiece. I've already talked with the headmaster of Duel Academy. Naruto will immediately be placed in obelisk blue, as he should be. The boy has more dueling potential than he knows what to do with. That's why I'm sending him there. If he stays here, then he will begin to stagnate. He already has no competition his age, and that is the reason he has begun to bore from dueling. Sebastian had to ask one last thing. Sir? Isn't that against the rules? Sebastian. Freak the rules, I have money. Okay, he's waking up. Naruto thought to himself, dear God, their how voice get that annoying? Whoever is talking has only said 4 words and I can already tell we aren't going to get along. Sweet. Do you think he's a good duelist, Sai? Damn it, that one isn't much better. Sai better get this over with. Naruto opened his eyes and the first thing he saw was the smiling face of a young male with spiky brown hair with an auburn highlight and brown eyes, which were currently staring down at him, excitement dancing within them. Jaden, give him some space, you're going to suffocate him. A voice admonished the newly dubbed Jaden. At least there is a face to go with the nail-on chalkboard voice. Naruto thought as his attention shifted to a teal-haired and gray-eyed midget currently sitting in a seat adjacent to his own. The shaky smile on his face and small stature just screamed self-confidence issues. Okay, Naruto. These are some of the people that you will be living with for the next 3 to 4 years. From your initial analysis, you are going to want to minimize the amount of time that you will spend in their presence drastically, so your next words are critical. Naruto sat up and said, Of course, I'm a good duelist. I'm one of the best there are. The brunette started to vibrate in his seat due to excitement. Wicked! When we touch down on the island, the first chance we get, we are going to duel. I get the feeling you and me are going to spend a lot of time together. My name's Jaden and this is Cyrus. On the outside, Naruto had the perfect poker face up, however, On the inside he was cursing everything he could. Damn it. Freak you, Dad, and your inheritable hubris. After his episode was done, Naruto took notice of his surroundings for the first time since he woke up. They were in a helicopter. Naruto had been in enough of them to know that was full of nothing but various students. Normally, if Naruto was in this situation, he would have immediately head towards the females and begin to chat them up instead to talking to Tweedledee and Tweedledum over here. There was but one problem with that plan of action. Where are all the girls? It's a freaking sausage fest in here. If Kaiba sent him to an all-boys school, then he would have one extremely bad time once Naruto came home. The teal-haired weakling answered Naruto's rhetorical question. Apparently the school likes to separate the boys from the girls as much as possible. Other than during class and during your free time, we won't be seeing too much of the girls. Naruto, after hearing that there were indeed girls on the island, prison, calmed down slightly and tuned everything else the annoying brunette had to say. He began to lie back in his chair and attempt to fall asleep. Hey guy. You said your name was Jaden, right? If there was anything Kaiba taught Naruto besides dueling, it was how to sense if someone was a strong duelist, and he was getting that feeling from Jaden in spades. Yep. The name's Jaden Yuki. Next king of games at your service. What's your name? Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto grinned to himself. King of games, huh? That's quite the lofty goal, especially considering who the current king is. Naruto got comfortable in his seat. Well, Mr. Future King of Games, do me a favor and wake me up when we touch down on the prison. Cyrus looked confused. Don't you mean the island? Naruto yawned and said, Same thing. And with that he let the sweet embrace of sleep take him. Naruto had to give the island this. It's a top-class dual teaching facility. It had the perfect blend of untouched nature and state-of-the-art technology. When the students reached the island, the male students were reunited with the females and were given the grand tour. The new students were shown all of the sites that they could visit during their free time, as well as the various dorms, abundance of forests, piers, and the volcano, thankfully inactive. Eventually the first years were ushered to the auditorium to await orientation. The auditorium consists of hundreds of seats surrounding a duel arena. The ground floor is where the students were currently standing. All right, first years get in the front of the group, second and third years get in the back. The Chancellor will be addressing all of you soon, so get in place. The proctor shouted, trying to make himself feel important. As soon as the students were situated, a large screen switched on, showing the face of a bald man with bright gray eyes, a thick gray goatee, and thick gray eyebrows, wearing a jovial smile. Welcome, students, to Duel Academy, the #1 dueling school in the world. I trust that everyone has been given the grand tour of the island, so I will try to make this as brief as possible. Monday through Friday is the designated school days, while Saturday and Sunday are yours to do with as you please. Once orientation has completed, each one of you will be supplied with your personal PDA. In it you will find your schedule for classes as well as a bulletin board detailing all major events that will be happening on the island. That is all I have to say. Since all of the rules are recorded on your PDA, I will allow you to read them in your spare time. All second years and third years, as well as all first years that have already been sorted, are free to leave or sit in the stands. That is all, and once again welcome to Duel Academy. A majority of the upperclassmen left the auditorium, while some of them went into the stands surrounding the arena. When the students finished moving, a professor in a yellow jacket walked onto the arena carrying a huge box. He sat the box onto the floor and turned towards the students. All first years, listen up. My name is Professor Sarter. When I call your name, walk up to the arena and I will hand out your jacket, which signifies which dorm you have been placed in. Naruto sighed in annoyance as he looked around. Damn, there has to be at least 80 freshmen here. Sigh, this is going to take forever. As he looked around, his attention was drawn to several of the freshmen standing around him. These people gave off the same aura of strength Jaden gave off. One of those was a male with sharp gray eyes, currently doing the same thing Naruto was, looking around the auditorium, analyzing everything they could see. He had black hair neatly arranged, with a large portion of it flushed back and slightly to the left, featuring different layers. If he doesn't give off the brainy vibe, then I don't know what does. Naruto thought to himself. Naruto resumed his looking and fought the urge to drool as he gazed upon two beauties. They were twins, that much was obvious. They had matching crimson-red hair cascading down to their mid-back. They had saffron-colored eyes with full lips and long eyelashes as well as matching hourglass figures. The only difference was that one of them had a smaller bust and bigger ass while the other had the bigger bust and smaller ass. Neither of them had below a C cup. Naruto would have spent the rest of the day staring and be content if their names weren't called up to receive their jackets. Both are a yellow. As he watched them walk back to their spot, Naruto realized that he hadn't caught their names. Damn it. I wasn't paying attention. Oh well. There were worse ways he could have spent his time other than staring at the third and fourth most beautiful women he's ever seen. Besides, he could always just ask them. Gives him a reason to talk with them anyway. Sardar's voice called out, "Naruto Uzumaki." A smirk was etched on Naruto's face. "I guess that's my cue." He walked up to the arena, one hand in his pocket, the other in his hair, smoothing it back. Naruto walked up to the professor. "Naruto Uzumaki at your service." Sardar just snorted before handing out Naruto the only obelisk blue jacket he had with him. Duel prep students were supposed to get their obelisk blue jacket after the written exams and before the practical exam. Since you didn't go to the prep school, I have no idea how you are an obelisk blue, but these are the Chancellor's orders. Naruto smirked at the professor. Let's just say I know people in high places. Naruto gave his jacket a one-over. It looked like a normal blue jacket, albeit without the spiked rims on the jacket. Naruto took his jacket and placed it on his shoulders without putting his hands through the sleeves. Naruto did a mental check as he walked back to his spot. Suave smile check, walk check, and jacket on shoulders check. If these girls aren't all on me, then they have to be gay. As Naruto retook his spot, he was unaware of the commotion he had inadvertently caused. In the stands above. "Hey Ches, I don't remember that guy going to duel prep school with us." This was said with a nasally voice and by an obelisk blue wearing glasses. He directed the question towards the male teenager sitting next to him. The boy was sitting with one leg crossed over the other. He was wearing the standard obelisk blue uniform with the jacket buttoned up. He had black hair sectioned into 2 layers, with 4 spikes in the front and 3 spikes in the back. His black eyes were filled with arrogance as they watched Naruto walk off the stage. That's because he didn't go to duel prep school. Of this Chaz Princeton was 100% sure. He had made it his mission to research every single person he went to school with, had to know who the competition was. The minion asked. Then how did he get placed into obelisk blue? Chaz just closed his eyes. He probably knows someone with a lot of influence in Duel Academy. If you asked me, he's probably some talentless flunky who knew he wouldn't make it past Slifer Red, so he asked for some help. Not worth our time. In Chaz's eyes, since Duel Academy is the #1 dueling school in the world, only the elite should occupy it. The weaklings and trash duelists should go to some other school, or better yet, just quit dueling entirely. And if you didn't show that you were elite, i.e. going to a prep school designed specifically so that you would be considered an elite duelist, then you were trash on the sidewalk. The top of the auditorium. Well, isn't that interesting? I don't think there has ever been a freshman that has been placed in obelisk blue without going to the prep school first. What do you think, Zane? You've been here longer than I have. This came from a teenage girl with dirty blonde hair sporadically arranged with a large portion trailing the upper part of the nape of her neck. She was wearing the standard female obelisk blue uniform, a blue and white vest, a blue mini skirt, blue boots, and fingerless blue gloves, signifying that she went to the duel prep school. Her name was Alexis Rhodes. The person she was talking to is Zane Truesdale, known throughout Duel Academy as Kaiser Zane, the strongest duelist in the academy. His Oxford blue hair was sectioned so that 4 bangs fell to the left and right of his face, and 6 small bangs fell right over his forehead. His blue eyes were staring down at the multitude of freshmen. He was wearing a slightly different jacket from the other obelisks. His jacket was whiter than it was blue, had a more pronounced collar, tighter bound sleeves, and pointed rims coming from the jacket's lower back. Zane was quiet for a moment longer before answering Alexis's question. No, Alexis, you're right. The only way to become an obelisk is to either gain a diploma from the prep school while simultaneously gaining high marks on the written exam, or being placed in Slifer Red or RA Yellow and winning your advancement matches. Those are the only ways, or at least it should be the only ways. Alexis, full of curiosity, had her eyes on Naruto. Well, apparently he knows something we don't. I wonder if his dueling skills are on an obelisk's level. Zane turned around and started to walk out of the auditorium. The year has just begun. We'll find out if he deserves to wear that jacket soon enough. And if it turns out he isn't, then he will be demoted. Simple as that. Zane stopped walking and turned towards Alexis. You coming with? Alexis looked at Zane in confusion and pointed towards the arena floor. Your brother just enrolled, didn't he? You're not going to stay and see which house he'll be placed in? Zane gained a cold look in his eye. No need. I already know where he's going. And just like that, Zane turned tail and left. Alexis looked back at the floor and at Zane before following him out of the auditorium. Back on the arena floor. It's amazing how slow time goes by when there is absolutely nothing to do. Other than asking some random student for the names of the two twins, Jessica and Erika, and getting the name of that one student who caught his attention, Bastion Misawa, nothing of interest happened. Naruto thought to himself, can something slightly interesting happen, please? Professor Sartor called out. Jaden Yuki? Naruto perked up slightly, not the most interesting, but I'll take it. From the vibe I'm getting from him says that he should be an obelisk, however the professors don't place based on someone's aura. Now, I didn't see his duel against the head professor, but I do know that he won. That by itself should warrant being placed in obelisk blue. However, since he doesn't have a jacket, that means he didn't go to the prep school, so obelisk is out, and I doubt he has connections like I do. So he's probably going to be placed in RE Yellow. Jaden Yuki, Slifer Red, Sartor called out as he gave an energetic Jaden his crimson jacket. The urge to face fault was strong in Naruto. There has to be a mistake. There's no way he's going to accept that after beating Growler. Woo-woo! Sweetness! Just the color I wanted. Naruto stood there and looked at Jaden, his face losing more and more expression until all that remained was a deadpan look. I forgot. Jaden is an idiot, of course he doesn't care. With his faith in his fellow student lowered to a disturbingly low degree, Naruto tuned out the rest of the ceremony by daydreaming about his future twin wives. After what seemed like an eternity for the blonde, orientation was finally finished and the students were allowed to leave. Naruto didn't run so much as he hauled ass out of the auditorium. Now his original plan was to follow the twins to their dorm, RA Yellow, and wait until the three of them were alone. Then he would proceed to let his charm flow. That was the plan, at least. After he received his PDA, Naruto somehow got lost and ended up somewhere in the forest surrounding the academy. All I was doing was following someone. How did I end up here? The answer to that was quite simple. The entire universe was built around balance. Despite being blessed with incredible dueling prowess, he was also cursed with the worst sense of direction anyone has ever seen. Naruto walked around the forest for at least another 2 hours before stopping in the middle of a clearing. Okay, Naruto. The welcoming dinner should be starting soon if the setting sun is any indication. And you do not want to sleep on the ground. Sigh, if I can find my way out of here, I'll give up flirting with girls, temporarily. Like a sign from above, a beam of light shone down to Naruto's left. Right on top of the beginning of a path Naruto was sure wasn't there a few minutes ago. Naruto looked at the stone path suspiciously for a few minutes before shrugging his shoulders. Better than sleeping on the ground. He started on the path towards God knows where. As he walked, Naruto began to notice several weird things. The light around him began to dim, the shadows began to get larger and more abundant, and the flora became more and more dead-looking the further he traveled. Naruto felt a chill go down his spine and stopped walking so fast his hair damn near gave him whiplash. Okay, Naruto, what does this remind you of? You are in a forest at night, surrounded by dead trees, dead plants, there is barely any light, and there are a lot of shadows. The only thing missing is the haunted mansion. Naruto continued marching on, trepidation in his legs. If the rest of the year is going to be like today, then I'm going to hate my life. Naruto continued on the beaten path until he came across a sight that brought Naruto to his knees, stole the breath from his lungs, and put the fear of God into him. It was a dorm, or it used to be at least. There was a gate in bad shape. The metal was rusted and bent in several spots, and in some places the metal rods were completely missing. The many windows covering the dorm were either extremely cracked or broken. The paint had chipped off the building, making it completely devoid of color. The double doors that were used to enter and exit the dorm were missing, and Naruto was pretty sure he just saw a pair of red eyes in the darkness of the dorm. Naruto was 3 seconds away from a panic attack. There is no such thing as ghosts. There is no such thing as ghosts. There is no such thing as ghosts. Little known fact, our blonde hero has a rather large and debilitating fear of ghosts. Naruto got up, fear ransacking his body, turned tail and ran for the hills. As he dodged branches from trees and jumped over hills on the ground, he became overcome with emotion. Fuck this school! I'm done! I want out! I'm sick of this shit! I refuse to stay on an island infested with shit like what I just saw. As Naruto continued running, with no intention of stopping anytime soon, he heard a long beeping come from his belt. He didn't stop running, who knew if he was being followed, but he did slow to a jog as he fumbled around with his belt. Eventually he found the source of the noise. It was a small watch that had a monitor on it instead of a face telling the time. Still jogging, Naruto toyed with the device until it came on and Sebastian's face was shown. Young master, your vitals are spiking, your adrenaline is pumping, and you seem to be in great distress. What is wrong? Normally, having the face of your butler appear out of nowhere would cause some confusion. However, in his highly emotional state, the only thing Naruto saw was someone to vent to. Sebastian, there was a clearing and a path and a light. And I was following it cause I didn't want to sleep on the ground. Then I noticed the lights were leaving, and then I saw a dorm, only it was a dorm, it was hell. Hell with ghosts and ghouls, and I want to leave this place. I want to go home with Dad and Mom where there are no ghosts and dash. Young master, you are having a panic attack. Listen to me. First, stop running. Sebastian had a lot of experience with this. Ever since the incident, Naruto would have panic attacks like this whenever ghosts were involved. Naruto slowed his jogging down until he was walking and then stood still. Sebastian continued. Good. Now open your deck case and look at the top card. Tell me what it is. Naruto did as he was instructed. He typed in the security code and took out his deck. Obelisk the Tor dash. Sebastian cut in. You're hallucinating. Your father has possession of obelisk. Naruto looked closer. Dark magician. Sebastian nodded his head. Good. Now lock back your deck. Naruto did so. Now tell me about Duel Academy. Is there any girls that have caught your eye? There is only 2 known things that can calm Naruto down when he is having a panic attack, dueling and girls. Naruto's eyes glazed over as he thought of the 2 girls who were, indirectly, responsible for his current predicament. There are 2. Sebastian, they are perfect. I'm telling you, in a few years they are going to be my 2 Mrs. Kybus. Sebastian's sweat dropped. They? As in more than one? Plural? Naruto nodded. Yeah, they. They are twins. And this horny bastard saw nothing wrong with that? Sebastian just went with it, something he had learned to do a long time ago. Very well, I will inform your parents of your marriage choices. That should make for an interesting conversation. Naruto beamed. Good man. Just make sure you tell Pops first. Give him enough time to prepare for Mother. A thought passed through Naruto's mind. Sebastian, where did this watch come from? I slipped it on your person whilst you were unconscious. It can only receive calls, so there is no point in trying to reach any of us. Only we can reach you. Naruto glared at the watch. I despise you. Naruto looked up from the watch and, like a gift from above, saw the auditorium he had left from. Hallelujah! Sorry to cut this conversation, cut Sebastian, but I have to go. When he didn't hear a response, Naruto looked to his watch only to see a blank screen. Dick! Naruto walked out of the woods and towards the auditorium. Considering he still didn't know how to get to the dorms, Naruto was basically back at square one. Lovely. As Naruto got closer to the auditorium, he caught sight of 6 people. 2 of them were Jaden and Cyrus, the only Slifer Reds in the group. The other 4 were obelisk blues. 2 of them gave off the feeling of complete tools and flunkies. The fact that they were standing behind an arrogant-looking male only helped further that image. The last person was female. While not quite at the level of the twins, her looks was nothing to be sneezed at. Naruto saw Jaden and Cyrus leave towards a random direction, probably the Slifer dorm. The arrogant-looking male sneered at Jaden and Cyrus before turning and locked eyes with a closing in Naruto. A cruel smirk appeared on his face as he called out to Naruto. "Hey newbie, come over here." It was more of an order than a question, really. Naruto heard the order in his voice and sighed. I can already tell we aren't going to get along. Naruto walked up to the 4 obelisks and asked, "How am I a newbie? Aren't all of us first years? Who are you anyway?" For some reason this seemed to upset him. "You don't know who I am? I'm Chaz Princeton, best duelist in Duel Academy." Alexis snorted. "Best in Duel Academy? Not by a long shot." Naruto just looked at him. "Of course I don't know who you are, I just met you. And from the snort beautiful right here just made, I'm guessing you aren't the best duelist either." Chaz scowled before calming down and snickering. "Big words from a hack duelist who couldn't even make it into obelisk without help. Put your deck where your mouth is." There are very things in this world that can piss Naruto off. Insulting Naruto's dueling skills are one of those things. A harsh look entered Naruto's eyes. "Okay, you piece of trash, if you want me to curb stomp some humility into you, I'm happy to oblige." Chaz snarled while reading for his duel disc. "I'll show you trash." Alexis had seen enough. "Alright, chill out, both of you." She got in the middle of Chaz and Naruto. She looked at Chaz. "Didn't I just tell you that we have to go to the welcoming dinner?" Then she turned towards Naruto. "And you shouldn't be so quick to start fights." Alexis straightened her form and spoke to both of them. "You both are obelisk blue regardless of how you got into this dorm." She turned towards Chaz. "That means no infighting." Chaz scoffed. Yeah. Let's go, guys." As Chaz walked by, he bumped Naruto's shoulder. Naruto stared at Chaz until he couldn't see him anymore. "Dick." Alexis laughed slightly. "Sorry about Chaz, he's a special case. I don't want you to think all obelisks are like that." Naruto grunted. "I don't care what he is. If I had dueled him, I'd have put him in his place." "Oh really? Chaz may be arrogant, but he is an obelisk blue for a reason. His skills are top tier." Naruto smirked. "All that means is that it would be all the more satisfying when I win." Alexis looked at him and detected no bravado in him. He fully believed that if he and Chaz dueled, he would be the victor. "I think I'm starting to understand what type of person you are," Alexis whispered to herself. "What did you say?" Naruto asked. "I said, why are you out here instead of at your dorm for the welcoming dinner?" Naruto blushed slightly and looked to the side while muttering something unintelligible. Alexis looked confused. "Huh? I didn't hear you. What did you say?" Naruto scowled before saying, "I got lost and I don't know the way to the dorm." Alexis blinked at Naruto before giggling at Naruto. Eventually the giggles turned into laughter at his current situation. The longer she laughed, the deeper Naruto's scowl became. After what seemed like a lifetime, Alexis managed to get her laughter under control. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It's just you're so cute." "I am. No shame in Naruto's game." "Wow. Full of confidence, aren't you? At least until you have to ask for directions." Naruto could feel the smirk on Alexis' face. "I don't have to take this abuse. I'm sure I could find my way eventually." Alexis smiled sweetly at him. "Go ahead. This should be worth a few more laughs." Naruto narrowed his eyes at her and signed. "Can you show me the way to the dorm?" Damn, that took a lot out of him. "No problem. Follow me, it's this way." Alexis started going one way, turned around and saw Naruto walking in the opposite direction. "This way." Naruto turned around. "Huh?" Alexis' sweat dropped. How can someone be that directionally challenged? "Do you need me to hold your hand?" Naruto smirked. "I wouldn't be opposed to it, ma dame, my lady." A hint of pink touched Alexis's face as she rolled her eyes. She took his hand and started to walk towards the dorm. Allons y vous flirtez, let's go you flirt. Naruto looked impressed. You know French? Alexis looked slightly annoyed. Yeah. I only know a little though. An effect of having an unwanted French suitor. Naruto snickered slightly. I'm sorry your beauty has attracted many unwanted advances. Your poor child. Shut up. They walked further until a thought crossed Naruto's mind. Alexis, who is the strongest duelist on the island? Alexis stopped walking and turned towards Naruto, eyebrow raising. Where did that come from? I remember you snorting when the dick said he was the best duelist on the island. That means you know who the best really is. Alexis only hummed as she continued walking, eyes in thought. Yes, I know who the best is. His name is Zane Truesdale. Naruto thought for a second. Isn't that the last name of that slifer midget? Alexis answered. That's Zane's little brother. Wow. One brother a good duelist while the other one was terrible. Dueling prowess must be a selective gene in that family. Alexis continued where she left off. Zane has been a student here for 2 years, this year being his third and last year. From what I've heard, Zane was one of the top 3 duelists in his first year and became the best in his second year. He's dominated the academy ever since. I see, Naruto's eyes sharpened. Don't bother, was Alexis's comment. Huh? Where did that come from? Naruto looked at Alexis in confusion. Don't bother with what? Alexis continued walking on, a nonchalant look on her face as she answered his question. I've seen that look on others who thought they could beat Zane, they all lost. Don't bother. They weren't me. Fact. Alexis had a rebuttal ready for him. You aren't Zane. Also fact. Naruto gave Alexis a one-over. As he looked at her, he took notice of the extreme confidence she had in what she was saying. He turned towards the road and addressed Alexis. I've seen people like you before. People who believe in something so strong the only way to shake that belief is to give them undeniable evidence that their belief is wrong. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to duel and beat Zane Truesdale. When he finished, Naruto saw the obelisk blue dorm entrance coming up. He stopped Alexis and kissed her knuckle. I can get there from here, until next time my beauty. And with that he turned and walked to the dorm, through the gate, and into the dorm. Alexis was still standing at the entrance, and was looking at the dorm, a multitude of thoughts going through her head. In the end she turned around and headed towards the obelisk blue girl's dorm. As she walked, a smirk found its way on her face. Between the new kid who beat Growler and this one who claims he can beat Zane, I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting year. The obelisk blue welcoming dinner was less of a party and more of a fancy ballroom party. There were 2 long tables on each side of the room covered by the most exquisite food from around the world. There was classical music being played over the speaker system and a space in the middle of the room reserved for dancing. Why there would be dancing when there are no females in the room is a question Naruto would like to remain unanswered. After gorging himself on lobster, crabs, and all things seafood, Naruto was seen standing at the back of the room, watching everyone socialize. Damn it, what kind of party doesn't have any girls at it? An unfamiliar voice answered Naruto's rhetorical question. I hear you, comrade. Without females, this is just an awkward gathering of men with nothing to do. Naruto turned towards the voice and in the owner's features. It was a man, obviously, with red gravity-defying hair set into many spikes. He had jade-green eyes and was the exact same height as Naruto. He was wearing a blue blazer open showing his bright red shirt and some black jeans. Naruto looked at him puzzlingly. Who are you? The redhead looked confused. What do you mean, who are you? You know who I am. Naruto shook his head. I'm pretty sure I'd know if I know you. And I'm telling you I don't know you. He was adamant though. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Did you really think that would work? Naruto was looking at him in awe of his stupidity. The guy looked to the left. No. Naruto decided to pretend the last few seconds arguing like children didn't happen. Well, anyway, introductions are in order. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. What's yours? Anton Knight. Anton leaned towards Naruto. And don't you mean Naruto Kaiba? Naruto simply looked at him. No, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Anton leaned back and blinked several times stupidly. No, I'm pretty sure it's Naruto Kaiba. Uzumaki. Kaiba. Uzumaki. Kaiba. Are we really going to do this again? Anton raised his left eyebrow. You tell me, comrade. Is that what it will take for you to admit you know me and that your name is Kaiba? Naruto sighed. Alright, I'll admit my last name is Kaiba, but I really don't know you. Tick marks appeared all over his face. The new Challengers Tournament? Tag Team Champions? Your red-haired partner who helped you crush all of the competition? Does any of this ring a bell? Naruto flashed his white teeth and gave Anton a thumb up. Not at all. Naruto thought for a bit. Was there any girls there? Anton deadpan. No. It was only open to men. Well, there you go, mystery solved. I have a terrible memory for anything that doesn't have to do with females. Anton sighed heavily as he looked at Naruto, exasperation in his voice. I noticed. As he was talking, Anton saw 3 people approaching the 2 of them. Don't look now, comrade, but it looks like we have company. Naruto saw who was coming and groaned. I don't have time for this. What do you want, Chaz? With his minions in tow, Chaz came sauntering up to Naruto, his insufferable smirk on his face. What's wrong, newbie? You should be excited to be in my presence. I don't know what fantasy world you live in, but I will never be happy to see your ugly mug. Naruto could feel the headache forming in his head. Alright, Chaz, before the urge to embarrass you becomes too strong, I'm going to go to sleep. Naruto pointed towards the door. Do everyone a favor and jump off a bridge. Naruto then turned towards the stairwell and ascended to the 2nd floor before opening a door and went inside. Meanwhile, Chaz was still on the ground floor seething. No one ignores and disrespects Chaz Princeton like that, especially not some pathetic duelist like him. Chaz turned around and stomped towards the entrance of the dorm. Boys, come here. They both answered at the same time. Yet, Chaz? The light from the chandelier cast a sinister-looking shadow in Chaz's face as he spoke. I've got a job for the 2. There are 2 new students in Duel Academy that need to be taught who their betters are. And tonight is when they will be put in their place. Listen up. Chaz was whispering his plan to his 2 lapdogs until they left. Back inside of the obelisk blue dorm, Anton was watching Chaz and his friends whisper to each other as they left with narrowed eyes. B dash. Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit. Naruto was woken up from his glorious sleep by the annoying sound of his PDA going off. Needless to say, he was not in a good mood. Grumbling, and half asleep, Naruto got out of his king-sized bed and checked the time. When he saw what it was, his temper rose to new heights. 2:15 in the fucking morning. If it's not God calling me, somebody is going to die. Naruto walked over to the table where his still screeching PDA was sitting. He picked it up and pressed the answer button. When he did, Naruto's already bad mood turned positively murderous. On the screen of the PDA was one Chaz. What do I have to do to get you out of my life, you annoying piece of shit? Chaz only smirked. Is the name calling really necessary? Yes, because you don't respond to nice words. Now why are you calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning? If I like the answer, I might not break your arm. Instead of feeling threatened, Chaz's smile only grew. Testy without your beauty sleep, aren't you? Anyway, I called you to give you a chance to put your deck where your mouth is. Go to the pier in 30 minutes prepared to duel. Naruto looked at Chaz's face stupidly for a few seconds before replying. Okay. And what's stopping me from giving you the proverbial and literal middle finger and going back to sleep? You mean other than the fact that you would be admitting that I'm the better duelist because you're scared to duel me? Naruto weighed the pros and cons of dueling Chaz. Pros: he could finally shut Chaz up and curb stomp some humility into his system. He could get rid of, currently, the biggest annoyance on the island. Cons: he's going to lose a fucking lot of sleep. He also didn't know the way to the pier, so he runs the risk of getting lost. One night of bullshit to take care of potentially an entire 3 years of bullshit. Worth it. Alright, Chaz, you're on. We'll meet at the pier at 3 o'clock. Good. Oh, and by the way, the duel will be for the other's strongest best card. Later, loser. And the screen went black. Naruto looked at the PDA. God, I hate that dick. Sighing, Naruto got to work getting ready. The first thing he did was turn on the lights, showing off his luxury dorm room. It measured at 70 square meters with 5 rooms, a lounge, bedroom, kitchen, dining room, and a training room. Even for an obelisk blue, it was an extremely extravagant dorm room. Most likely his father had something to do with that. Naruto was currently in his bedroom. It contained a king-sized bed with Egyptian bed linen, a 46-inch interactive TV suspended on bright blue walls, a desk, and a walk-in closet. Naruto left his bedroom and went to the bathroom to take a shower. The bathroom had a bally shower, large tub, loudspeakers, and a hot tub. Naruto took his shower, brushed his teeth, and rushed to get dressed. While simultaneously pulling on his blue blazer and brushing his teeth, Naruto heard a knock on his door. Naruto looked at his door and contemplated whether or not he should open it. Naruto shrugged and decided not to, probably wasn't anybody important anyway. As he walked away, he heard the door knock again. Open the door, comrade, before someone comes down the hall. Someone, now recognized as Anton, hissed through the door. Naruto rolled his eyes as he walked towards the door. Why are you at my dorm at this hour? Naruto opened the door and Anton walked in wearing a backpack and looking pretty ragged. Naruto raised his eyebrow. Dude, you look like death. I believe it. I haven't gotten a wink of sleep in 2 days. Naruto looked at him in confusion. Why? I didn't get any sleep yesterday because I was so excited to get here. I spent the entire night going through my deck. The reason I didn't go to sleep tonight was because I was waiting on Chaz to challenge you. Anton stood straighter and puffed out his chest at his second reason. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Anton. How did you know Chaz was going to challenge me to a duel? And how did you know he just called? I hacked you, PDA. Anton stated like he saw nothing wrong with what he just said. You did what? Anton repeated himself. I hacked your PDA. I totally saw this coming. You didn't see the look on Chaz's face when you left. I knew he was planning something, so I hacked your PDA and waited all night until he called you. Here is another question for you. Why? Anton looked at Naruto, annoyance in his eyes. Just because you have the memory of a fish when dealing with anything that doesn't have a pair of breasts doesn't mean I do. You may have forgotten me, but I haven't forgotten you. I still remember how powerful a team we were, and it gives me chills when I think about it. On that day I swore that we would become the best team in the world. You are my comrade and I am yours. That also means that I've got your back. Naruto looked at Anton with an indiscernible look in his eye. Eventually Naruto turned around and picked up his belt which contained his decks. Do you have your deck and dual disc with you? Anton grinned as he brought out his dual disc he was hiding in his backpack. First rule of a duelist is to dash. Always be prepared for a duel. Naruto finished for Anton, a grin forming on his face. Naruto picked up his dual disc and headed out of his door. Let's go. Roger that, comrade. It is a straight shot from the obelisk blue dorm to the pier. So please explain how you got us lost in the fucking woods. Shut up. I'm telling you, I saw a sign saying that the pier was this way and I followed it. Anton turned towards Naruto, a wild look in his eyes. There are no signs on this island. That's why we were given the grand tour on the first day. Something you obviously didn't pay attention to. Naruto kept on walking and ignoring the ranting Anton. As he continued walking, he began to hear the sound of water moving. I'll take my apology now. What are you talking about? Naruto said nothing and kept on walking. As he walked, the trees began to clear until they were out of the woods. There's the pier, you jackass. And there it was. The waves were crashing against the pier while the moon was shining high in the sky. Anton looked dumbfounded. Dumb luck. That's the only reason we got here. Naruto looked angry. Bullshit. I told you I saw a sign saying this was the way. Apparently, since we are at the pier, I was right. Anton butted his head against Naruto's. And I told you there are no direction signs on this island. As the two continued to argue, they failed to notice the two male obelisk blue students standing not 10 feet away from them. Are they ignoring us? One of them asked the glasses-wearing teen. I don't think they know we're here, he replied. The spectacled boy raised his nasally voice and addressed the bickering duo. Would you two shut up? Naruto and Anton stopped butting heads and turned towards the two obelisks and stared at them. Naruto and Anton said nothing and continued to bore holes into them. Eventually it was Naruto who broke the silence. Hey, now I remember who you two are. You guys are Chaz's minions. Tick marks appeared on both of the affronted males' foreheads. We are not minions. And we have names, asshole. They both yelled at Naruto at the same time. Naruto stared at them, a multitude of responses at the ready, and none of them nice. In the end he chose the one that seemed most appropriate. And I care why. They both sneered at Naruto. Chaz was right. You really do need to learn your place. And we're just the ones to do it. Naruto smirked in amusement. You guys are going to put me in my place? That's funny. They actually thought they had a chance. Okay, joke's over now, tell me where Chaz is so we can get this over with. The sooner he beat Chaz, the easier his life would become. He's not here. He's busy doing something more important. The one next to the glasses-wearing teen said on a deep voice. The smirk fell off Naruto's face so fast Anton took a few steps backwards out of safety. What did you say? For their sake they had better be lying. They said that Chaz, the person who woke you up at 2 o'clock in the morning to duel you, isn't even here. They also said that he thinks so little of you and your dueling skills that he left 2 weaklings to fight you while he handled more important things. Anton was an instigator at heart, and the chance to throw fuel into the fire that was Naruto's temper was too good an opportunity to miss. From the ever-growing look of fury that was growing on Naruto's face, Anton could call this a job well done. Naruto was seeing red, he was so pissed off. Fuck dueling. First chance I get, I'm shoving my foot so far up his ass he'll be able to taste my soul. Naruto snarled at the two minions. Alright, bitch boy 1 and 2, I need an outlet for all this aggression. And since the two of you are a part of this little plot, guess who just volunteered? The glasses-wearing obelisk yelled at Naruto. Our names aren't bitch boy. I'm Kevin and he's Damien. Inside of his head though he was snickering, what a dumbass. Chaz was completely right when he said this would happen. Just make him mad enough and he'll challenge the two of us on his own. Now we've got the numbers advantage. Hey now comrades, stop being so selfish, I want some action too. Anton walked up and stood next to Naruto as he spoke, startling Chaz's flunkies. The deep-voiced teen, Damien, looked at Anton in confusion. Who are you? Meanwhile his thoughts were going 100 miles an hour. Chaz said that he wouldn't bring anyone else to duel with him. We were expecting him to watch, not duel. Anton smiled a smile full of nothing but bad intentions. Anton Knight. Your soon-to-be executioner. Anton turned towards Naruto. You ready, comrade? As he spoke he pulled out his dual disc, turned it on, and put it on his left arm. Naruto took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and let his mind wander into the past. Flashback 8 years ago. Dang it! Why can't I ever win against you? Whined an 8-year-old Naruto as his life point meter dropped to 0. A mature male voice replied. Language, Naruto. I'm leagues ahead of your current skill level. You aren't going to beat me anytime soon. Little Naruto crossed his arms and looked up to the man with intelligent blue eyes. Then why are we dueling, Dad? Virtud vincere superanti, win with absolute power. Isn't that the family motto? Standing at 6 feet and 1 inch was Seto Kaiba. Brown hair matted down on his face and dark blue, almost black, eyes defined his face. He was wearing a long white sleeveless Kaiba Corp designed coat featuring shoulder pads and a raised studded collar, with black sleeves from his shirt coming out from under. He had extra belts strapped around his upper arms and shins with a Kaiba Corp dual disc on his left arm. Seto smirked. Yes, you are right. That is our motto. However, you are just learning how to duel. What we are doing right now is simply giving you the skills necessary to become the best duelist. And that is the most important thing a duelist can have. Naruto looked confused. But Yugi said the most important aspect of a duelist is to believe in the heart of the cards and trust their deck. Kaiba scowled when he heard that. Damn him to hell for preaching that trash to my son. He straightened his form and addressed Naruto. Don't you listen to a word of that magic garbage that motto says. To be the best you need tactics, ability, and a cool demeanor. Naruto cocked his head to the right. A cool what? Sito simplified it. It means don't go into a duel angry and frustrated and keep calm during the entire duel. That is a problem that you currently possess. When you get frustrated during duels, then you make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, then you lose. Do you understand? I understand, Dad. End flashback. Naruto opened his eyes, no trace of his previous anger in them, and placed his dual disc on his arm. I'm ready, partner. Kevin, in a last-ditch effort to turn the duel back into a 2-versus-1, attempted to antagonize Naruto. I thought you were big stuff. If you're so strong, then you shouldn't have any trouble taking us on by yourself. Naruto looked at him, eyes nigh emotionless. Stop stalling and get ready to lose. Kevin shed in annoyance before turning his dual disc on, Damien doing the same right behind him. Let's duel. All 4 duelists said at the same time. Here are the rules. We each get separate life points and a separate field. You can't look at your teammate's hand. You can use your teammate's monsters for tributes and as targets for your effects, traps, and spells. The 2 of you share a graveyard and remove from play zone. We can begin attacking after we have made a full revolution. Naruto stated as he drew 5 cards from his deck. I'll go second. Kevin spoke up. I'll be first. Anton said. Guess I'm last then. That's cool. Damien spoke. And I'm third. Kevin drew a card and looked at his hand. I'll start things off by placing 2 cards face down. Now I summon Axe Raider in attack mode. 2 large holographic cards appeared in front of him. In a flash of light, a muscled man wearing golden armor with a purple battle skirt and wielding a golden axe appeared. Axe Raider, 1700/1150. Now I end my turn. Kevin LP, 4000. Naruto drew a card from his deck and smirked. First I summoned to the field Breaker the Magical Warrior. A warrior donned in red and gold robes appeared wielding a sword and a red and gold shield. Naruto continued. And due to his special effect, when normal summon, Breaker gains a spell counter place on him. And when he obtains a spell counter, his attack points are increased by 300. Now I'll put 2 cards face down and activate the field spell Yami, which increases the attack and defense points of all spellcasters by 200. Naruto tilted his dual disc and placed a card in the small card holder that came from the side of his dual disc. The sky above turned black with the only available light source coming from the bright pink clouds above. Breaker the Magical Warrior, 1600 plus 300 plus 200/1000 plus 200 equals 2100/1200. I end my turn. Naruto LP, 4000. Damien drew his card that signified the start of his turn. Alright, first I summon Hayabusa Knight in attack mode. A knight wearing gleaming silver armor and a green cape appeared on the field in front of Damien. He quickly unsheathed his sword and went into an attacking position. Damien smirked. That's not all. Next from my hand I activate 2 equipped spells, Black Pendant and Axe of Despair. And guess which knight I'm equipping them on? Hayabusa Knight glowed before reappearing with a black necklace with a red string around its neck and wielding a brown wooden axe with a sharp edge. Hayabusa Knight, 1000 plus 1000 plus 500 equals 2500/700. Good luck getting rid of my Hayabusa Knight now that he's so powerful. Damien taunted both Naruto and Anton. I end my turn. Damien LP, 4000. Kevin yelled at Damien. You dumbass! What about me? My Axe Raider isn't strong enough to deal with that warrior. Damien just turned the other way. There was no way I could have made my monster so strong and help your monster at the same time. Deal with it. As Kevin was fuming, Anton took this time to draw his 6th card. Trouble in paradise over there? Don't worry. We'll finish this duel up soon enough and let the two of you get back to your lovers' quarrel. I summoned to the field in defense mode Blue-Winged Crown. A giant bird covered in blue feathers and red feathers in the shape of a crown sitting on its head appeared on the field. But Anton was not done. Now I activate the spell card Ring of Magnetism. Since you two seem to be pretty low on the intellectual totem pole, allow me to explain what it does. Ring of Magnetism is an equipped spell that lowers the monster's attack points by 500 points. That monster is also forced to become the target of the opponent's attacks. Now I attach it to my own monster Blue-Winged Crown. A glowing green ring attached itself to the bird's left leg like an anklet. Blue-Winged Crown, 1600-500 equals 1100/1200. Damien started laughing like he heard the funniest joke in the world. Are you sure you belong in Obelisk Blue with those brains? You just made you already pathetic monster even weaker. And then you made it so that we have to kill it. Anton merely smiled at his banter. How about you leave my apparent stupidity alone and worry about your own strategy? No. I place 3 cards face down and end my turn. 3 large holographic cards appeared face down in front of Anton. Now we're back to me. Kevin drew a card. I summon Dark Blade in attack mode and I equip him with Lightning Blade, which increases his attack by 800 points. A warrior in obsidian black armor grabbed a sword that had lightning arcing all over it. Dark Blade, 1800 plus 800 equals 2600/1500. Kevin smirked. Now Axe Raider attack Blue-Winged Crown with Draconic Buster. Anton cut in. I hate to interrupt you like this, but I activate my trap card Negate Attack. Not only is your attack stopped, but your entire battle phase had ended. Kevin looked annoyed. I end my turn. Naruto drew his card. I summoned Silent Magician LV4 in attack mode. A small magician wearing pure white and royal blue robes appeared onto the field. He was holding onto a small white scepter. I also activate from my hand the spell card Mage Power and equip it to my Silent Magician LV4. Mage Power increases the attack and defense points of the equipped monster by 500 for each spell and trap card on our side of the field. And from my count there are 6, so my magician gets an increase of 3,200 attack and defense points. Silent Magician LV4, 1000 plus 3500 plus 200/1000 plus 3500 plus 200 equals 4700/4700. Now Silent Magician attack Dark Blade with Silent Magic Blast. The diminutive magician jumped into the air without a word, charged his scepter with white magical energy, and let loose a huge white magical blast towards Dark Blade, obliterating it on impact. You thought I was done? I'm not done. Now, Breaker attack Axe Raider with Ethereal Slash. Naruto said as his monster slashed through Axe Raider with a sword glowing with grayish energy. Kevin LP, 4000 minus 2100 minus 400 is equal to 1500. I end my turn. He enjoyed the shaken look that Kevin had on his face far more than he should have. Damien started off. I draw my card and dash. Naruto interrupted Damien. What a second, big guy. You drew a card which activates my magician's special effect. Every time one of my opponents draws a card, a spell counter is placed on my magician. And with each spell counter his attack is raised by 500 points. Silent Magician LV4, 4700 plus 500 equals 5200/4700. Damien glared at Naruto for cutting him off. I activate the spell card Mask of Accursed and attach it to your Silent Magician. A green and purple mask that had pins sticking out from everywhere was placed on the face of Silent Magician. What my Mask of the Accursed does is prevent the equipped monster from attacking. And you will lose 500 life points every time one of my standby phases goes by. So now it doesn't matter how strong that magician is. If you can't use it, all you have is a very strong paperweight. Now I summon Luster Dragon in attack mode. A medium-sized dragon that had sapphire for scales descended from the clouds and touched down on the ground in front of Damien. Luster Dragon, 1900/1600. Luster Dragon attack Blue-Winged Dragon with Breath of Fire. Anton held out one of his hands in front of him, and one of his face-down cards lifted up. I activate my trap card Draining Shield. A green dome surrounded the giant bird and Anton right before the breath of red-hot fire reached the two of them. Anton LP, 4,000 plus 1,900 is equal to 5,900. Damien's eyes bugged out. How did you get extra life points? And why isn't your bird ashes? Naruto spoke up. Someone must not have stayed awake during those precious years at the so-called elite prep school. Draining Shield stops the enemy's monster's attack, and the attack points of the monster attacking are added to your life points. Blood vessels looked ready to pop in Damien's eyes. He snarled. I hope you don't think that will save your monster or your life points. Hayabusa Knight has a special ability which allows it to attack twice in one battle phase. So go Hayabusa Knight and take out that annoying bird with Knight's Sword Strike. I know my mother taught me that interrupting people is rude, but I can't help it sometimes. Anton looked like he enjoying this immensely. I activate my second trap card Enchanted Javelin. This increases my life points by the amount of attack points your knight has. Anton LP, 5,900 plus 2,500 is equal to 8,400. Hayabusa Knight struck through the bird, destroying it. Damien was feeling bittersweet. On one hand, he finally destroyed the damn bird. On the other, he ended up giving his opponent more than double the amount of life points he started with. Something he intended to rectify immediately. Now Hayabusa Knight attack him directly. Anton looked at the knight approach him with a smile on his face. Not a hint of worry could be found. The knight reached Anton and slashed through him with its holographic sword. Anton Knight, 8,400 minus 2,500 is equal to 5,900. Damn, that felt good. Damien thought to himself. Dash. Not yet, my good friend. I activate my third and final trap card Damage Condenser. If I discard a card in my hand, I am allowed to special summon a monster with an attack equal to or less than the amount of battle damage I received. Anton took his deck from the slot and started looking through it before finding what he was looking for. And I special summoned Phoenix Beast Garuda in attack mode. A massive bird, now recognized as a phoenix, appeared on the field. The feathers were a bright red while the ones on its body was a dull orange. Its neck stretched from its body, and its face was covered with red feathers. Phoenix Beast Garuda, 2,500/1,200. Anton was all smiles as he said, You can end your turn now. Damien was visibly scared as he looked up at the giant phoenix. I end my turn. Anton drew another card. First I summon in attack mode Hand of Nephthys in attack mode. A beautiful girl wearing orange and gold robes, and cloaked in fire appeared on the field. Hand of Nephthys, 600 out of 600. Phoenix Beast Garuda attack Hayabusa Knight with Phoenix Wing Cluster. Damien smirked at Anton, some of his previous bravado having returned. Did you forget to count? Our monsters have the same attack points. They'll both be destroyed. Anton wagged his finger at him. Not exactly. You see, whenever my Garuda attacks, he gains an attack boost of 300 attack points. Phoenix Beast Garuda, 2,500 plus 300 equals 2,800/1,200. Now, since he destroyed our friend Blue Winged Bird, let's return the favor. Destroy that knight. Garuda rose high into the air until he was shielded by the pink clouds. Then, out of nowhere, a storm of red and orange feathers rained down upon Hayabusa Knight until it imploded. Damien LP, 4,000 minus 300 is equal to 3,700. Now, before I end my turn, I activate my Hand of Nephthys special effect. If I tribute her and one more monster, namely my Phoenix Beast Garuda, then I am allowed to special summon my favorite monster card. As he spoke, Hand of Nephthys tuned into golden fire and covered Phoenix Beast Garuda until nothing could be seen over the fire. Anton's face looked sinister in the glow of the flames, and Naruto swore that for a second his eyes flashed gold. Say hello to the mighty sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. If Phoenix Beast Garuda was massive, then this creature was colossal, no Titanic. It was completely golden, and it looked mechanical. Its body was streamlined and sharp. From its wings great jets of fire billowed out. And from its head a golden fire was being made. There was silence all around the field until Anton said, I end my turn. Naruto looked at Anton in a new light. I didn't expect duelists of this caliber to be on this island. He planned this from the beginning. He made his monster a target in order to force his opponents into helping him. He's been playing them since the beginning. In one fell swoop he increased his life points, summoned 2 high-level monsters, and successfully pressured his opponents into corners, using only 3 trap cards. Naruto's eyes sharpened as a smirk found his way onto his face. How scary! He might be as good as me. Kevin drew his card and looked nervously at Damien. Shit, what do we do? Even though his magician can't attack, it's still more powerful than any monster I have or that I can summon. And from how Damien is looking, he's in the same boat. And that's not even getting into the giant phoenix, and the fact that neither of them have dropped below 4,000 life points. Damn it, Chess said that this would be an easy win. I put a monster face down in defense mode and end my turn. Naruto drew his card. I hope you didn't forget the attack boost my magician gets from you drawing a card. Even if he did lose some attack points from the traps my partner had being used, he's still strong enough. Silent Magician LV4, 5200-2000 plus 500/4700-2000 equals 3700/2700. Well, since my partner had such a strong and showy turn, I only feel that it's fitting if I do the same. First I activate Pot of Greed and draw an extra 2 cards. Then I activate my Breaker the Magical Warrior's special ability. If I sacrifice a spell counter on Breaker, then I can choose 1 spell or trap card and destroy it. So I'll destroy that Mask of the Accursed. Breaker the Magical Warrior, 2100-300 equals 1900/1200. Now I activate my face-down spell Magical Dimension. I can activate this when I have a spellcaster on my field. By sacrificing 1 monster, I can special summon another spellcaster from my deck. So I sacrifice Breaker the Magical Warrior and I special summon my second favorite card, the legendary Dark Magician. A black hole appeared in front of Naruto. It expanded and grew until it was as big as Naruto. From the black hole came a figure about a foot taller than Naruto. He was wearing purple robes and a pointed purple hat with light purple symbols etched all over its robes. It held in its right hand a long green scepter and had a dark aura around him. Dark Magician, 2500/2100. Damien and Kevin's eyes were wide open and was looking gobsmacked. Damien stuttered. How do you have that card in your deck? That belongs to the King of Games. He owns all of the copies. Naruto smirked. Flashback 10 years ago. Naruto was sitting and swinging his legs on a bench in Domino City while eating an ice cream cone. Thanks for getting me ice cream, Yugi. My mom never gives me any. She says that is no kind of food for a young prince, Naruto said to the taller man sitting next to him. Yugimoto stood at the exact same height as Seto Kaiba. He had regal amethyst-colored eyes with purple and gold hair. He was wearing a sleeveless black shirt with blue jeans. Around his neck was the Millennium Puzzle. Yugi smiled nicely. It is your birthday after all, so don't worry about it. Just keep it a secret from your mother. Besides, I know you didn't want to stay in the house all day with your grumpy dad all day. Naruto laughed aloud. While he was eating, he thought of something. Yugi, why does my dad not like you? Yugi had to damn near fight Seto to get him to let Naruto go with him. In the end, Naruto's mother had to get involved before they could leave. Yugi thought back on all of the many duels that Yugi and Seto shared, each and every one of them ending in Yugi's victory. He smirked. Your father is a sore loser. Yugi stood up and held his hand towards Naruto. Well, I've had you long enough, it's time to take you back to your parents. Yugi whispered to himself. No doubt he has had his goons trailing us since we left. Naruto got off the bench, took Yugi's hand, and began to follow Yugi. As they walked, Yugi began to talk. From what I hear from your mother, you want to be like me and your father and become a duelist. Is that right? Naruto smiled widely and nodded his head. Yep. I saw a video of Dad dueling Mom and he looked so cool. I want to be like that. Yugi chuckled. I can imagine. So let me help you with that. Yugi reached inside of his jeans pocket and brought out a deck case. Happy birthday, Naruto. End flashback. Wouldn't you like to know? Now I'm tired, I'm sleepy, and I'm irritated. I think it's time to finish this duel, partner. Since Dark Magician was special summoned, I still have my normal summon, so I summon Magician's Valkyria in attack mode. A female in blue and pink armor with a blue scepter appeared in front of Naruto. She looked nearly identical to Dark Magician with the exception of the color variation. Magician's Valkyria, 1600/1800. Now I activate my two face-down cards, Dark Magic Attack and Dark Magician's Tome of Black Magic. With Dark Magic Attack, so long as there is a Dark Magician on my field, I can destroy all of my opponent's spell and trap cards. The single card on Kevin's field was flipped up and shown to be Mirror Force before being destroyed by a wave of darkness. Naruto continued, and Dark Magician's Tome of Black Magic increases Dark Magician's attack points by 700. Dark Magician, 2500 plus 700 equals 3200/2100. Silent Magician destroy Luster Dragon and Dark Magician finish off Damien with Silent Magic Blast and Dark Magic Attack. Silent Magician and Dark Magician jumped into the air together and crossed their scepters together. A ball of white and black energy was charged up and shot towards a gaping and wide-eyed Damien. Ah! Damien yelled as his life point meter dropped from 3700 to 0. Naruto smirked. And end my turn. Anton spoke up. Well, since the person who was supposed to go next is currently out of the duel, I guess it's my turn. And he drew his card. I activate the spell card Monster Reborn and bring back Phoenix Beast Garuda. Now Phoenix Beast Garuda attack that face-down card. Garuda shot orange and red feathers at the large face-down card until it exploded. Now Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys finish this duel. Attack Kevin directly with Sacred Fire Soul. Kevin let out a very womanly scream as he was blasted by a dive from a Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys covered in golden fire. Kevin LP, 1400 minus 2400 is equal to 0. The dual discs powered down and the monsters disappeared as Naruto and Anton walked towards each other. Naruto raised his hand for a high five, but instead Anton tapped the back of Naruto's hand with his own. Since you don't remember anything about our first team up, this will have to be our new beginning, the start of us dominating the dueling world. Every team needs a symbol, so tapping the back of our hands together will be ours. Naruto looked at Anton in amusement. Slow down, partner. It's still just our first day on the prison. Let's think about the future when it gets here. Naruto turned towards the downed Kevin and Damien. As he looked at them, his previous bad mood began to return. Get out of here. And tell Chaz he's next. Naruto watched them run away with tails between their legs. Naruto sighed. Let's go to the dorm. I'm tired. Anton yawned. Agreed. Sometime later. So let me get this straight. Not only did you fail to beat Naruto after I baited him to you, but you also failed to inflict a single point of damage to him. Chaz was livid. Not only was his own duel with that cipher slacker interrupted, but he came back to his dorm to also find out that his minions lost their duel against the punk. Please explain how you lost so pathetically when I gave you specific directions on what to do. Kevin spoke up. He wasn't alone, Chaz. We did everything just like you said do, but he didn't show up alone. Chaz was having none of it though. You two are obelisks. It shouldn't matter if he brought someone with him. Chaz sighed deeply and closed his eyes. Tell me who he brought with him. Damien looked up in thought. We didn't know him. Some guy called Anton Knight or whatever? Chaz's eyes snapped open and he glared at the obelisks, seriousness in his eyes. Are you sure that was his name? Are you absolutely positive? Damien looked confused. Yeah, that's his name. Why are you looking so serious, Chaz? Chaz said nothing and went to sit on his couch. He was silent for a moment more before answering his question. If Anton really was there, then I'm not surprised you two lost badly as you did. Anton is no joke. Who is he, Chaz? Kevin asked. Chaz bit the tip of his thumb as he thought about the best way to answer that question. He's an elite duelist just like me. He went to the prep school with us, but we never saw him duel. Whenever we tried to get him to duel, he would always say that he only dueled as a tag team duelist if he could help it. And he never chose a partner to duel with because he said there wasn't anyone who was at the level of his last partner. Kevin was still confused. If he never dueled, then how do you know he is an elite level duelist? I didn't say he never dueled, just that he never dueled around us. One day I got curious about him, so I followed him after class. When he left, he went to a local duel tag team training camp. When he arrived, he was told to duel some random person so they could get a feel of his abilities. That day was the first and last time I saw him duel. And that one duel was all I needed to see in order to justify calling him an elite-level duelist. Ches stood up from the couch and headed out of his dorm room door. Come on guys, classes start soon. As he walked towards his class, Ches began to rationalize everything that happened. So the reason the punk won wasn't because he was good, but because he had an amazing partner. I'm confident in my ability to win against Anton if it should come down to it, but it would be a long and hard duel. And my tag team dueling is horrible, so that option is out. It looks like I'll have to get my hands dirty and take care of him myself. How annoying. If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself, I guess. Mr. Uzumaki, Mr. Knight, and Mr. Yuki, if you three can't stay awake in my class, then perhaps you will have an easier time staying awake in detention. Tonight at 8 o'clock sharp, Professor Sartor said to the only students asleep in his class. Naruto and Anton groaned, as Jaden continued on snoring away. Another long night. How lovely. Naruto cracked open an eye and glared at the back of the professor. I hate this prison. What was that, Mr. Uzumaki? Did you just say you wanted detention all week at the same time? Well, if you insist. I really hate this place. Alexis walked towards the female obelisk blue dorm bathhouse with her best friends Mindy and Jasmine. At first glance, Alexis would seem like she has a peaceful composure. However, if one was to look a little deeper, then they would see a look of irritation just underneath her smiling face. The cause of said irritation would be the two girls walking with her. Alexis, you should have been in my first period class. There was a boy named Justin there, and he is gorgeous. I need to introduce you to. Mindy was the girliest of the three and the most boy crazy. Mindy, listen to yourself. It's just the second day and you're already trying to play matchmaker. Then there was Jasmine, the more logical and level-headed girl of the group. Besides, Alexis doesn't just look at a boy's looks, but also at their personality. And let me tell you, Lexi, I met this guy named Titus whose personality would mesh with yours perfectly. But no less boy crazy than Mindy. Girls, how about you let me choose the boy I like? You two know I don't need anyone to play matchmaker for me. Jasmine sighed. You're right, Lexi. A sly look appeared on her face. Especially since you already have your crosshairs locked onto one Naruto Uzumaki. Alexis turned towards Jasmine. What are you talking about, girl? I don't have anyone in my sight. Jasmine had a smug look on her face. Don't play coy with me. I heard it from a very reliable source that you two were holding hands until he had to go inside his dorm. And even after he went inside, you stood outside for a minute before leaving. Moving pretty fast, huh, Lex? Already claimed your man. Alexis shook her head no as she hurriedly tried to get Jasmine straight. If she didn't nip this in the bud now, then this would be all over the island and Alexis would never hear the end of it. I was only holding his hand because he needed directions to the obelisk blue dorms. And I stood outside of the dorms because I was thinking about the upcoming year, not him. Jasmine wasn't convinced. So if you were giving him directions, why couldn't he just follow behind you? He didn't have to hold your hand. Because he'll just turn in the wrong direction and get lost if someone wasn't physically guiding him. That sounded like a stupid and weak excuse, even to Alexis. Mindy raised her eyebrow and jumped into the conversation. Really, Alexis? You couldn't come up with an excuse better than that? Alexis had a full-on blush at this point. It's not an excuse, it's the truth. Alexis huffed and marched into the bathhouse, steadily ignoring her two giggling friends. This is a bad idea, comrade. Naruto marched out of the classroom and towards Jessica and Jerrica, steadily ignoring his pessimistic friend. How could this be a bad idea? All I'm going to do is talk them, get their number, and get them to declare their undying love for me. Anton looked like he wanted to say something to Naruto. Look, there's something I heard about those twins I think you need to know. I don't want to hear it, Anton. Now, if you would excuse me, I need to introduce myself to my future wives. Naruto walked away from Anton and towards the red-haired twins who were sitting on a bench and talking to each other. Excuse me, you two, I couldn't help but notice that you two were sitting all alone, and I was just thinking, that is such a shame. Beauty like the two of yours should be admired from up close, not afar. Jessica and Jerica looked at each other in amusement, and then looked at Naruto. Well, aren't you the charmer? Let us guess. You want to be that admirer that is up close? They spoke at the same time in a stereotypically twin way. Naruto closed his eyes. Dear God, even their voices are angelic. Naruto opened his eyes. I trust that isn't a problem? They smiled. Of course not. In fact, we actually wanted to talk with you. Well, since it's obvious I want to talk to you too, how about we play a game? We each get to ask the other one question and the other person has to answer it. Since there are two of you, pick what question you will ask me. Savvy? That sounds fun. What about you, Jess? I don't see any problems with it, Jerica. Naruto smiled. Great, I'll start off. How can I tell the difference between you two? It's best to take care of that problem early on. Calling a girl another female's name, regardless of whether they are sisters or not, is just asking for trouble. That's an easy one. Jessica's eyes are larger than mine and I like to tuck my hair behind my ear. Sure enough, Jerica had a tuft of hair behind her right ear. Our turn. From what we've heard, you didn't go to the prep school, so how did you get placed in Obelisk Blue? Naruto rolled his eyes at the obvious question. He has been asked that question by every Obelisk Blue student since he got his jacket. I know people in very high places in Duel Academy. Long story short, they got me this jacket. Jessica leaned towards Naruto, interest in her eyes. This person must be pretty important if they can get you a blue blazer without you even taking the entrance exams. Who is it? Naruto wagged his finger at her. That's not how the game works. You already asked your question. So how long have you two been dueling? Jerica answered Naruto's question. We just started dueling 4 years ago. We've been hooked ever since. Jessica smiled at Naruto. Now we can ask our question. Who is the person who got you into Obelisk? My father. Naruto smiled at the annoyed looks that appeared on the twins' face. Why are you being so difficult? Naruto ran his hand through his hair. A little mystery does wonders for keeping a girl's interest? Jessica and Jerica raised their eyebrows. Oh, really? And what makes you think you have our interest? Just an assumption. Now, since you just asked me 3 questions back to back, it's only fair if I do the same. Jessica narrowed her eyes at Naruto. No fair. Naruto winked at her. Life isn't fair. How old are you two? We're both 17. Jessica is older by 2 minutes. Next question. What made you two come to Duel Academy? Was it by force? Or did you two choose to come here? Jerica answered with a confused look in her face. Why would we be forced to come to Duel Academy? It's a premier dueling school. We were excited to find out we made it to the academy. Naruto looked to the left slightly. I guess it's just me. Naruto stood up. I think I'll keep my last question for later. You never know quite when you will need it. Jessica smiled sweetly at Naruto. I couldn't help but notice that all of your questions were directed towards learning more about us. Is that intentional? And if I said it was? Jessica and Jerica stood up and they both kissed a different side of his cheek. We would say that is sweet, but a waste of time. Naruto raised an eyebrow. How is it a waste of time? Jerica and Jessica smirked at Naruto. Because we are gay. After that they turned around and left a shell-shocked Naruto. Anton winced. I tried to warn you. Naruto said nothing as he stood at the exact same spot, an expressionless look on his face. Anton knocked on a door. Would you come out? I know you're crushed about the twins. At this Anton had to pause, lest he laugh at the situation. But you haven't left your room since then. If you stay in here you are going to miss detention. Silence. Damn it, this can't be the first time you've been rejected. A hollow voice called out from the other side of the door. Yes, it is. Anton sighed, half ready to say fuck it and go to detention. Look, I know they were beautiful. And I know that somewhere in your twisted head you envisioned the three of you being together somehow. But it won't happen, and sulking in your room won't change that. After a few seconds, Naruto's dorm room door opened and Naruto stepped out. You could be less of a dick about the situation. Then you would still be in that room moping. Anton took a closer look at Naruto's face and noticed his slightly red eyes. Dude, were you crying? No. And he'll keep saying that until the day he died. Let's go to detention. Naruto and Anton walked out of the dorm and towards the yellow dorm where Professor Sartor instructed them to be. Anton cleared his throat. So, do you want to talk about it? Naruto kept his head up and looked straight ahead. No. I'm fine. Anton swore he saw Naruto's eyes glisten softly and rushed to change the topic. So what do you think Sartor is going to make us do? No idea. I guess we'll find out when we get there. The duo continued on their way towards the yellow male dorm. On the way there, Anton and Naruto caught sight of Jaden and Yuki coming from another direction, probably the Slifer Red dorms, but headed in the same way they were headed. When the brunette saw Naruto, a smile erupted on his face, and he jogged towards the two of them. Hey Naruto, fancy meeting you here. You have detention too? Naruto sighed. Unfortunately, I do. Let me introduce you to Anton Knight, meet Jaden Yuki, and Jaden Yuki, meet Anton Knight. Anton held out his hand. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot of things about you. Jaden laughed and rubbed the back of his head while shaking Anton's hand. Oh yeah? Like how I'm an awesome duelist who is going to be the next king of games? No. That you are an idiot of the highest degree and you beating Professor Growler was a complete stroke of luck. Jaden's face faltered and a sweat drop appeared on the back of Naruto's head. How brutal. Naruto looked on as Jaden stood back up, a hint of annoyance on his face. That wasn't luck and I proved it when that Ches guy dueled me last night. Naruto's eyebrow and interest rose at this statement. So you are the reason Chaz blew me off. So did you beat him? If Chaz lost to someone who is supposedly one of the flunkies of the island, Naruto would die laughing. No, the island security came, and we had to end the duel a turn before I would have won. Naruto sighed. Shame. Now come on, the faster we get this done, then the faster I can go back to sleep. The three boys continued on their walk towards the yellow dorm in silence. Before long the trio reached their destination. The yellow dorm, while not as extravagant as the obelisk blue dorm, was large in its own right. It stood at the entrance of the forest, and was 3 stories tall. It was also painted completely yellow and white. Naruto, Anton, and Jaden walked up to the door and hesitated. Anton asked, Do we knock or just go in? Jaden answered, Go in. We might find something interesting. Naruto seconded that. I agree. Going in would be faster than knocking and waiting anyway. Anton shrugged and opened the doors. The inside of the dorm was also painted yellow, with a stairwell to the left of them, and doors on all 4 walls. Jaden looked around and asked the question that was on everyone's mind. Now where do we go? How about we ask one of the Ras where the professor is? Naruto suggested as he saw one of them walk across the room and towards the stairs. Hey, wait! Naruto called out to the student. As he approached the Naruto realized that he had seen this person before. He was one of those new students who caught my attention during the selection process. His name was Bastion Misawa, I think. Bastion stopped walking and stood still, watching Naruto walk closer to him. Is there something I can help you with? Naruto walked up to him. Yo? Can you help us here? We're looking for Professor Sartor. Do you know where he is? Bastion nodded and pointed towards a door on the left. He is probably in the kitchen. I'll guide the 3 of you to him if you wish. It is quite easy to get lost in our dorm, something I am sure you have realized by now. Naruto smiled. Thanks. My name is Naruto, and this is Anton and Jaden. Anton raised a hand in greeting. What's up? Bastion looked amused. Jaden and I have already met, but my name is Bastion Misawa. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. If you would follow me, I'll take you to Professor Sartor. Bastion turned and started walking towards a seemingly random door. As the group walked through the dorm, Jaden found the silence annoying and took it upon himself to start a conversation the only way he knew how. Hey, Bastion, want to duel? With dueling. Bastion turned towards Jaden with a smile. Where on earth would you find the time to have a duel with me? We are currently on the way to your detention. Jaden put his hands behind his head and closed his eyes. I'm not talking about right now. I mean, let's duel after detention is over. I'm itching for a sweet duel right now. Bastion turned away from Jaden and continued towards the kitchen. Jaden, do you know what time it is? Huh? What does that have to do with dueling? I don't know, probably around 8 or 9. It is exactly 8:16 at night. He wasn't wearing a watch and there wasn't a clock on the wall, so how did he know that? By the time you all finish, it will be about 12 or 1 o'clock. I will be asleep. Naruto and Anton turned towards Bastion with a concerned look in their eyes. What, so you mean 1 o'clock? What is he going to have us do? Bastion laughed. Nothing too terribly hard, just very tedious. How do you know what we are doing for detention? You don't look like the type of person to get detention, Anton asked Bastion. On the first day on the island, Professor Sartor informed all of his RA Yellow students on how he handles his detentions with the intent of discouraging any infantile behavior from us. Jaden looked at him dumbly. Huh? Anton translated for Jaden. He said Sartor told all of the RAs what he does in detention to make sure that they wouldn't want to have it. Jaden nodded in understanding. Why didn't you say that the first time? I did. Bastion stopped in front of a large brown door. He's in here. Have fun. Bastion started walking away from the trio and then stopped and turned back towards them. And Jaden. I would love to settle the matter of who is the better duelist between us. However, that is not my modus operandi. When I complete my research on you, all of you, we will duel. With that, Bastion turned back around and left. Jaden scratched the back of his head. Modus what? Naruto clapped Jaden on his back. Don't worry about it, big guy. He looked like he was about to get a headache from talking with Bastion. Come on, let's get this over with. Naruto walked up to the door, opened it, and was promptly hit in the face with a steel ladle. Son of a bitch! Who hits someone with a steel ladle? When you are late for my detention, I do. I said 8 o'clock sharp and it is 8:21. Professor Sartor was in his regular yellow jacket, but was wearing an apron over it that had the words I love curry on it. Anton stepped into the kitchen and out of the line of fire very slowly. That looked like it had hurt. Professor, what will we be doing for detention? Professor Sartor smirked at Anton. I'm glad you asked, Mr. Knight. You see, I am quite the chef and my special dish is my midnight curry. However, I am missing some key ingredients that I need to make the curry. That will be your job for tonight. These 3 ingredients can be found in 3 specific locations on the island. If you will give me your PDA, then I will mark where the ingredients can be found. Naruto looked annoyed. So we are basically your errand boys. Professor Sartor had a twinkle in his eyes as he marked where the spots were on each of their PDA. Yes, you are. If you 3 would look on the counter, you will see 3 containers. I want you to put the ingredients in those containers. The 3 boys picked up a container each and were also given back their PDA. They turned to leave the kitchen when Professor Sartor spoke up. Before you leave, I think there is something I think you should know. At each of the sites there will be a dueling machine that you will have to beat in order to get the ingredient. Jaden pumped his hand. Wicked! I think I need to get detention more often. Professor Sartor smiled at his exuberance while Anton and Naruto sighed. I imagine if you 3 want any type of sleep this week, I suggest you hurry up. Huh? What do you mean? Naruto asked him. Professor Sartor smiled a very disturbing smile towards the boys. My dish is called Midnight Curry for a reason. If you fail to obtain the ingredients and bring them back to this kitchen by at least 12 o'clock, then you will continue to have detention with me until you succeed. Their eyes widened before they took off out of the dorm. All right, in an effort to get this finished before 12 o'clock, we are going to split up. Naruto instructed to the other 2. Call which sites you want and go to them. I'll take the one to the east. Jaden pointed to a certain point on his PDA. I've got the one to the north. It's not that far from the Slifer Red dorms. Anton shrugged his shoulders. Then I'm taking the southern site. Let's go. It's already 8:24 and judging from the map it will take at least an hour to get to these sites. Not to mention to the time it takes to finish the duel and get back to the dorm. Naruto nodded. Agreed. They took off in their separate directions. Sometime later with Jaden. Man, I love this island. Cool teachers, cool friends, and dueling all day, what's not to love? Jaden had his PDA in his hand and was letting it guide him to his destination. As he walked, Jaden began to wonder to himself, how will I know when I find the thing anyway? I don't even know what this ingredient looks like. Jaden walked a few more feet into a clearing, stopped walking, and started staring at the sight in front of him. Well, that's one question answered. In front of Jaden was a large mechanical man. It was made of some sort of metal Jaden couldn't readily identify. All he could say for certain was that it was transparent. He could see the mass of wires inside of its body, and where its brain should be sat a cluster of leaves. The automaton's eyes glowed with life and emotionless and robotic voice erupted from the machine. Life form detected. Initiating countermeasures. Expelling dual disc. The machine's left arm split apart into a mess of wires and different metallic parts. After what looked like vibrating in place to Jaden, the pieces came back together to form a hand. The only difference being the dual disc that was currently sitting on its left arm. Jaden whistled as he brought out his own standard-issue dual disc. That was pretty cool. But if you want to beat me, then you'll need more than a dual disc built inside of you. Your logic makes no sense. This model's intelligence are leagues ahead of your own feeble mind. You have no chance of victory. Jaden smirked. He might not understand big and confusing words, but trash talk is a language that is understood universally. Let's throw down. The automaton buzzed as its dual disc turned on. I will commence this duel. I draw my obligatory 6 cards and summon to the field Witch of the Black Forest. A woman with twigs in her black hair and a sinister look on her face appeared in front of them. Witch of the Black Forest, 1100/1200. Now I will end my turn. Jaden drew his cards. Let's start this off with a little monster I like to call Elemental Hero Sparkman. A man wearing blue and green armor appeared on the field. He had lightning arcing all over its body. Elemental Hero Sparkman, 1600/1200. Now Sparkman, let's light this tin can up. Attack Witch of the Black Forest with lightning crash. Elemental Hero Sparkman cupped his hands together and charged lightning within them. He then shot his hands towards the witch and let loose a lightning storm that destroyed it. Jaden continued. Now I'll throw down 2 face downs and end my turn. Your go. Automaton LP, 4000-500 is equal to 3500. The automaton drew its card and paused while lights began to flash throughout its body. This continued for a little longer before the lights died down. This unit has now prepared for any and all contingencies. Because you destroyed Witch of the Black Forest on battle, I can special summon a monster who has a defense of 1500 or less. So I special summon 8 fighter in attack mode. A larger than average ape was summoned onto the field. It was wearing metal greaves, braces, chain mail, and a metal helmet. 8 fighter, 1900/1200. Since this was a special summon, I can now summon to the gecko mystical medium of the forest. When this card is summoned, I can target 1 card in my graveyard that has forest in its name and special summon it to the field. I choose Witch of the Black Forest. Then I play the field spell Forest, which increases the attack and defense of all insects, plant, beast, and beast warrior types by 200 points. Like a zombie rising from the grave, Witch of the Black Forest emerged unscathed from the ground and stood next to a green frog-looking animal. 8 fighter. 1900 plus 200/1200 plus 200 equals 2100/1400. Gecko, mystical medium of the forest, 800 plus 200/1600 plus 200 equals 1000/1800. Now I attack and destroy your elemental Sparkman with my 8 fighter. Unrelenting barrage. The ape ran towards Sparkman and proceeded to beat the shit out of Sparkman with its armor-clad arms and legs. And now Ape Fighter's special ability activates. Every time it destroys a monster, its attack points are increased by 300. Ape Fighter, 2100 plus 300 equals 2400/1400. Witch of the Black Forest, attack him directly with Black Magic Vine. The witch's eyes glowed black before a multitude of vines covered in a black aura erupted from the ground and flew towards Jaden. Jaden smirked. Not so fast. I activate my trap card. A hero emerges. Since you declared an attack on me, you have to choose one of the 3 cards in my hand. If it is a monster card, then I can summon it onto the field, and if it is not, then it is destroyed. The machine gave off a low hum. This unit chooses the card to its far right. Jaden smiled. Good choice. I special summon to the field Elemental Hero Heat in attack mode. Say goodbye to that witch of yours. A warrior wearing spiked red, gold, and silver armor appeared in front of Jaden and sent a wave of fire that incinerated the vines and continued on to the witch. Elemental Hero Heat, 1600/1200. Automaton LP, 4000-500 is equal to 3000. The automaton buzzed in what Jaden thought was annoyance. You might have saved your life points, but you have activated my witch's effect again. Now I special summon Kurantosa, the mystical beast of the forest. And if Kurantosa is special summoned by a beast-type monster's effect, then I can target a card and destroy it. So I destroy Elemental Hero Heat. Elemental Hero Heat glowed brightly before exploding. Now I will end my turn with Gecko, mystical medium of the forest, and Kurantosa, the mystical beast of the forest, attack him directly. Jaden LP, 4000-1000-400 is equal to 2600. Jaden had a huge smile on his face. This Tin Ken is no joke. It's a pretty decent duelist. Professor Sartor was in the RA Yellow kitchen stirring a pot of curry. As he was cooking, he began to wonder about his students. I wonder if I should have told them that the automatons are programmed to be as advanced as a third-year Obelisk Blue student. Sartor thought about it for a moment longer before shrugging. Oh well. Too late now. Jaden grinned towards the machine. This is awesome. Now it's my turn. I draw and summon Elemental Hero Stratos. And I activate one of his special abilities, which allows me to add 1 hero monster from my deck to my hand. As Jaden picked through his deck, a man wearing blue and green armor with a glider strapped to its back descended from the sky. Elemental Hero Stratos, 1800/300. A devious look entered Jaden's eyes. Now I activate from my hand Polymerization. I remove from play the Elemental Hero Stratos on my field and the Elemental Hero Avian in my hand to fusion summon Elemental Hero Great Tornado. A tornado touched down in the middle of the forest, sending branches and plants everywhere. When the tornado died down, a figure in green and gold armor with a tattered cape could be seen levitating in the air. Elemental Hero Great Tornado, 2800/2200. And due to Great Tornado's special effect, all of your monsters' attack points and defense points are halved. Ape Fighter, 2400*5/1400*5 equals 1200/700. Kurantosa, the mystical beast of the forest, 400*5/1600*5 equals 200/800. Gecko, mystical medium of the forest, 1000*5/1800*5 equals 500/900. Jaden pointed towards Kurantosa. Now Great Tornado attack Kurantosa, the mystical beast of the forest, with Cyclone Smash. Elemental Hero Great Tornado started spinning in the air until another tornado was formed. The tornado then smashed against the monster, destroying it. Automaton LP, 3000-2600 is equal to 400. I'm not done. Now I activate the trap card Late Hero. When an Elemental Hero monster successfully destroys a monster, then I can special summon an Elemental Hero with an attack of 1000 or less onto the field from my deck. And I choose Elemental Hero Voltic and put him in attack mode. Unfortunately, I can't attack with him this turn. A man wearing purple and silver armor appeared on the field. And, not unlike Elemental Hero Sparkman, had lightning arcing on its body. Elemental Hero Voltic, 1000/1500. I end my turn. It is my turn. It appears that your feeble intelligence has somehow managed to best my superior thought processors. This unit has determined that there is no possible way to ascertain victory. Thus, its only option is to surrender. The automaton's dual disc powered off. Wait, what? Jaden blinked in confusion. What do you mean surrender? The duel isn't over yet. Jaden's dual disc also powered off. This unit concedes victory to you. Commencing shutdown now. The multitude of lights that were shining on its body turned off. The head of the automaton popped open and the cluster of leaves were now able to be taken. Jaden was having none of that though. No way. Don't be like that, finish the duel. Come on. Jaden whined to the dead machine. Oh, that is so cheap. He grabbed the leaves and put them in his container. When he got them all, he started on his way back to the RA Yellow dorm. With Anton. This is such bullshit. How am I supposed to get to the stupid ingredient without getting wet? Anton was standing at the edge of a large lake. Right in the middle of the lake was a pedestal in which a singular flower sat. Anton looked around in search for anything that could get him to the center of the lake, preferably dry. After a few minutes of searching, he found what he was looking for. A medium-sized motorboat was docked at the edge of the lake. Anton pushed the boat into the water and jumped in. Anton got into the driver's seat, started the engine, and started driving towards the pedestal. Halfway there, his boat suddenly stopped moving. Huh? What happened? Anton questioned aloud. He peered at his gas meter. There is plenty of gas in the tank, so that isn't the problem. What's wrong? A voice rang out from the dashboard. Declaration: I have commandeered this vehicle for the unforeseeable future. Anton had but a second. What? Before the boat lurched forward and he slammed backwards into the boat. What the hell? Anton climbed back into the driver's seat of the moving boat and attempted to take back control of the boat. After trying to move the steering wheel and failing, Anton gave up and resigned himself to being led to wherever the boat was taking him. A few minutes later, the boat began to slow down. As the boat came to a stop in the middle of the water, Anton saw another motorboat come closer to his own. Eventually, the boat stopped right in front of Anton's boat. On it stood an automaton with a dual disc on its arm. Anton stood up as well. So I'm going to guess and say you were the one who took control of the boat. The automaton turned its dual disc on. Whether I did or did not is irrelevant. Prepare yourself to duel. Anton smirked and turned his dual disc on. Straight to the point, I like that. Let's duel. Both Anton's and the machine's life point meter rose 4,000. Anton drew an extra card. I hope you don't mind if I go first. Since I have no monsters on my side of field, I can special summon Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys from my hand. A phoenix with blue fire surrounding its body appeared onto the field. Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys, 1000/1500. And I normal summon Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys Incarnate in attack mode. Now I'll place down one face-down card and activate the spell card Ring of Magnetism. I equip it to my Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys. Now I end my turn. A medium-sized phoenix with reddish-orange flames circling its body appeared onto the field, along with a large concealed face-down card, and a glowing green ring that attached itself onto the leg of the blue phoenix. Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys, 1000-500 equals 500/1500. Anton smirked. If it ain't broke, then don't fix it. He thought as he looked at his face-down card Draining Shield. The machine drew another card. I activate the quick play spell Mystic Tornado, which destroys one spell or trap card on the field. I choose to destroy your face-down card. A blue tornado formed on the field and smashed through his face-down card Draining Shield. Now I summon to the field Blazing Impachi and attack your Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys. A large wooden, and more importantly burning, monstrosity appeared on the field and, in one swipe of its burning arm, sent the blue phoenix to the graveyard. The automaton continued. Now I place one card face down and end my turn. Anton LP, 4,000 minus 1,350 is equal to 2,650. Anton winced at his life points as he drew a card. Not my best start to a duel. I've got no time to mess around. First, I activate Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys Incarnate's special ability. By discarding one card from my hand to the graveyard, I can add one monster from said graveyard to my hand, and I choose my blue Phoenix of Nephthys. Now I summon him to the field, but he won't stay for long, because I activate the effect of Black Phoenix. I can destroy one card on my field to special summon him to from the graveyard. So by Blue Flame Phoenix of Nephthys. The blue phoenix exploded in a sea of black fire, and from that fire rose a large black phoenix. Black Phoenix, 2200/1000. That's not all. Because my blue flame Phoenix of Nephthys was destroyed, I can add one hand of Nephthys from my deck to my hand. Now Black Phoenix attack Blazing Itachi with Obsidian Blaze. The automaton interrupted. I activate the trap card Negate Attack to end both your attack and your battle phase. Anton ched, damn it, I had hoped to put him in a defensive position by threatening his life points. Now the momentum is with him. I end my turn with a face down. I draw and activate the continuous spell card Return of the Monarchs. Now I sacrifice Burning Itachi to tribute summon Kuraz the Light Monarch. Now I activate its special effect. I can choose two cards on the field and destroy them. I destroy both your Black Phoenix and your Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys Incarnate. As a side effect, you are now allowed to draw two cards from your deck. A bright shining light blinded Anton, and when he could see again, a giant figure clad in bright white armor was on the field. The imposing giant lifted its hands towards Anton's monsters and shot two beams of light, destroying them. Kuraz the Light Monarch, 2400/1000. One more thing I must mention. My spell and Return of the Monarch activated when I tribute summon my Kuraz the Light Monarch. I can now add either one monster with an attack of 2400 and a defense of 1000 from my deck to my hand, or I can add a monster with an attack of 2800 and a defense of 1000 from my deck to my hand. I choose the monster with 2800 attack points and 1000 defense points. I place two cards face down, and I end my turn. Anton took a minute to assess the situation. With every move that machine makes, it's like I'm taking one step forward and two steps back. If this duel continues to snowball like this, then I'll be too far behind to make a comeback. I need to make my stand now and finish this duel in the next few turns. First, since you destroyed a winged beast monster, I can special summon Firebird Mother from my hand onto the field. And it gains a 500 attack point boost. A big red bird appeared onto the field with a large screech. Firebird Mother, 2000 plus 500 equals 2500/2000. And from my hand I activate the spell card Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. I discard one card from my hand and send Kuraz the Light Monarch to the top of your deck. Now I summon to the field Embodiment of Nephthys in attack mode. Orange fire came into existence into the field. The fire took shape of a bird in flight. Embodiment of Nephthys, 1200/800. And due to its special effect, I can summon Hand of Nephthys onto the field. But I'll be discarding it to special summon Black Phoenix to the field. Now Black Phoenix attack him directly with Obsidian Blaze. The automaton activated one of its face-down cards. Due to the effect of Emergency Evacuation Device, I can send your Black Phoenix back to your hand. Black Phoenix let out a loud screech before returning to Anton's hand. I still have two more monsters. Embodiment of Nephthys attack with Burning Soul and Firebird Mother attack with Flaming Screech. Automaton LP, 4000 minus 2500 minus 1200 is equal to 300. I had hoped to end the duel this turn without giving it the opportunity to counterattack. I end dash. The machine interrupted Anton. I activate my second face-down card Damage Condenser. With it I can special summon one monster whose attack points are equal to or less than the amount of damage I received. The monster I choose is Grandmarg the Rock Monarch. A massive golem made of stone with ridiculously disproportioned arms appeared on the field. Grandmarg the Rock Monarch, 2400/1000. Anton groaned before ending his turn. That's exactly what I wanted. It to have a high-level monster on its field before when its turn is about to start. This unit draws and activates the Book of Moon Quick Play spell card. This spell card flips any face-up monster into face-down defense position. The monster I choose is Firebird Mother. The giant bird disappeared and in its place was a large holographic face-down card. Now I sacrifice Grandmarg the Rock Monarch to tribute summon Grandmarg the Mega Monarch in attack mode. The massive golem disappeared and in its place stood an even larger golem with a large ring on its back and brown and gold armor on its body. Grandmarg the Mega Monarch, 2800/1000. The automaton continued its turn. Due to Grandmarg the Mega Monarch's special ability, I can target up to 2 set monsters on the field and destroy them. So this unit will destroy your only face-down card, Firebird Mother. Grandmarg the Mega Monarch stomped on the ground and spikes made of earth came out of the ground and skewered Anton's face-down card, destroying it. Now Grandmarg attack Embodiment of Nephthys with Rock Wrecker. The Colossal Monarch raised its large arms and sent them crashing down towards Embodiment of Nephthys. Anton LP, 2650 minus 1600 is equal to 1050. And due to the effective return of the Monarch, I can choose to add from my deck to my hand another monster with 2400 attack points and 1000 defense points, or a monster with 2800 attack points and 1000 defense points. Also, because I tribute summon Grandmarg the Mega Monarch with an Earth monster, I can draw a card from my deck. Now I end my turn by placing one card face down. Anton drew his card in what was going to be his last draw phase in this duel. Either Anton won this turn, or he lost on the next. Before anything happens, my Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys is special summoned from the graveyard to my field because it is my standby phase, and all of your spell and trap cards are destroyed. The Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys appeared onto the field and, in a ring of fire, destroyed the automaton's face-down card. This is illogical. This unit never sent that monster to the graveyard. Anton smirked at the machine. You're right. You didn't send my Phoenix to the graveyard, I did. Do you remember my spell card from last turn? With my Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, I discarded my Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys to the graveyard. And since it was destroyed by a card effect, it is resurrected on my next standby phase. The machine taunted Anton. Even so, you have already met your end. Your Phoenix cannot stand up to my Monarch. I liked you better when you were direct and didn't waste time talking trash. I activate the spell card Destruction. We both send our hands to the graveyard and redraw the same number of cards we had. The automaton sent his one card to the graveyard and drew one, while Anton discarded and drew two. Anton looked at his new hand and smiled. It looks like Nike is smiling on me. This unit is confused. Who is this Nike? She's the Greek goddess of victory, dude. Brush up on your mythology. Anyway, I activate the spell card Burden of the Mighty. What this card does is lower the attack of all your monsters by 100 times the level of the monster. Since Grandmarg is a level 8 monster, it loses 800 attack points, which brings its attack just low enough for my Phoenix to end this duel. Go Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, attack Grandmarg with Sacred Fire Soul. The giant Phoenix cloaked itself with golden fire and dived towards the Monarch, destroying it. Automaton LP, 300 minus 400 is equal to 0. The automaton and the dual disc stopped glowing and powered down. Anton let out a long sigh. That was too close for comfort. I hope all of my duels won't be that intense. Anton sat back in the driver's seat and sailed back to the pedestal in the middle of the lake. After securing the plant in a container, Anton sailed to the edge of the lake and got out. As he walked away from the lake and towards the yellow dorm, Anton had a funny feeling. Why do I feel like I forgot something very important? Anton thought on it some more, but for the life of him couldn't remember what it was. Whatever. It couldn't be that important if I forgot about it. Anton continued on his way towards the dorm, occasionally looking at his PDA. It's a pretty good thing Professor Sartor programmed where the sites were. Otherwise it'd be pretty easy to get lost around here. Anton suddenly stopped as his eyes widened. Shit! He suddenly took off in another direction than the way towards where the RA dorm was. With Naruto. Where am I? Naruto asked nobody as he walked along the pier. Naruto was confused. He was sure he was following the map perfectly. So why did the PDA say he was miles away from his intended target? Naruto scratched his head and looked at his PDA. How do you work this stupid thing? It didn't come with an instruction manual, so he was on his own. As Naruto was fiddling with the PDA, he heard a voice call out from above him. What are you doing out at this time of night, freshman? Naruto looks up and saw an obelisk blue student standing on a ledge looking down at him. It's considered polite to at least give your name before demanding something from someone. The blue-haired obelisk smirked at Naruto. My apologies. My name is Zane Truesdale. Naruto gained a faraway look in his eyes. Flashback yesterday. Zane has been a student here for 2 years, this year being his last year. From what I heard, Zane was one of the top 3 duelists in his first year and became the best in his second year. He's dominated the academy ever since. I see. Naruto's eyes sharpened. Don't bother, was Alexis's comment. Huh? Where did that come from? Naruto looked at Alexis in confusion. Don't bother with what? Alexis continued walking on, a nonchalant look on her face as she answered his question. I've seen that look on others who thought they could beat Zane, and they all lost. Don't bother. Flashback end. Naruto smirked at Zane. So you are the famous Kaiser Zane. How lucky. I have the chance to prove I'm the strongest duelist on the island on just my second day. Zane cocked an eyebrow at Naruto before jumping off of the ledge and right next to Naruto. Prove that you are the best on the island? I think you are getting ahead of yourself. Naruto's eyes sharpened as he pulled out his dual disc and deck. I don't think so. But if you have doubts about that, then let's prove who is superior right now. Zane chuckled at Naruto. You are 10 years too young to be challenging me to a duel. However, I will humor you. Zane brought out his royal blue dual disc and inserted his deck. Let's duel. Chapter end. Tired of watching censored fanfics? Would you like to watch some very naughty, filled with the lemons fanfics without any censorship? I'm happy to announce that I opened Patreon page for you guys, where you could watch Naruto/Deku, 18+ stories without any censoring. Not only that, you can also see the NSFW images of characters of the fics on my Patreon, which I make by myself. So buy your preferred tier and join our community now. Link is in the description.